Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, happy Sunday. It's the 6th of February. And had something really great happen today. My family, um, my wife, my son Jeremiah, my daughter Rachel, we all sat down this morning and meditated together for the very first time as a family. And not only did we meditate together as a family, my son Jeremiah, who has um, had his own battles he's been fighting, he absolutely felt something from that meditation. He definitely had an experience while in that meditation. And I shouldn't be surprised because he excels literally at everything he tries to do. So, of course, just listening to the words of the meditation and following the directions, of course, he nailed it. Because that's who he is, that's what he does. And he's always been that way. I've been explaining to him a lot of the universal truths that, you know, were not really in his field of vision before. His eyes are a little more open now. And he's realizing that a lot of the things that I have been telling him and so many others are very, very true. And because of that, his belief systems are changing. His belief system about who he is, what we are, what is possible. And that's beautiful to me. It's beautiful whenever you can change somebody's belief systems, and I'm getting pretty good at it now because I've learned that universal truth is very simple. Life is only complicated by our egos. The truth is very simple. Is it is it easy to explain? No, no, it's not easy to explain. Especially the more esoteric you get, the further up you get in consciousness, the harder it gets to explain. Um, but what I can tell you is this: I have a picture of a consciousness chart. And if you're honest with yourself, you can see exactly where you are in terms of your state of being. You can see if you're living in hell, because hell is a state of mind, just like heaven is a state of mind. And because of this chart, I've been able to show people. I'm like, look at this chart. I'm like, tell me where you are. And they look at it and they have to be honest with themselves for maybe the first time. And when they say it, then it's like, okay, now we got a starting point. Now we know where we're beginning at, and we can work from there. And so I'm doing everything that I can to help people move forward in every way, but especially in knowing who they are and having more self-love and personal sovereignty, just being control of you, not letting not letting any stray thoughts just get through. You got to think about what you've been thinking about. You got to pay attention to how you feel, because if you pay attention to how you feel and you pay attention to your thoughts, you're listening to your higher self, because the way you feel, that comes down from the real you. Because when something feels off, when something feels bad, it's your higher self telling you that ain't right for you. You have a thought that makes you feel bad. Your higher self's telling you that thought's not right for you. That's not loving to you. When you have emotions that feel bad, feel painful, it's your higher self telling you that's not loving to you. But we ignore that. When we eat things that make our bodies feel bad, we ignore it. That people would just say that that's just how things are. No, it's not. That's our body talking to us. That's our higher self saying, that's not for you. We have this incredible intelligence that is inside of us that keeps all of this flowing, that keeps all of this going. Everything that goes on in your body, you don't think about those things, but something does. Something makes all of those things happen inside of you. Something does all of those chemical compositions. Something is doing the biochemistry that makes your skin. You should listen to it. Obviously, it knows what it's doing. And so, if it's telling you something isn't right for you, then listen. That part of you is connected to everything. And when you're able to connect, and that's why I'm teaching my kids meditation, that's how you connect. That's how you become familiar with yourself. In Tibetan, meditate means to become familiar with. So the process of meditation is becoming familiar with yourself. I also say that prayer is talking to God, meditation is listening to God. If you're going to talk, you got to listen to, which means you got to be quiet. Listen and silent use the same exact letters. So you sit in silence and you listen. Watch the movies that come up in your mind. Be the observer of the thoughts. And that should tell you something right there. If you can review your thoughts, if you can observe your thoughts as they're happening and you're like, yo, I shouldn't be thinking like that. No, don't think that way. If you can do that, if you can do that in your mind, who is observing the thoughts that you are thinking? If you can tell yourself that that's not a good thought, then obviously you are coming from a higher perspective to be able to say that's not right. So who's the thinker of the thoughts and who is the observer of the thoughts? Okay? You are the one who observes the thoughts. That's why we have our frontal lobes, our neocortex. It allows for metacognition. That is just a big word for saying you can review your own thoughts. But you is with a capital Y, and that you is a divine being. I tell people that we are just light slowed down, and that's just a fact. If you slow light down enough, it becomes matter. But also, our bodies give off biophotons, which means light, and it can be photographed. And I tell people that we are just sun rays from the central sun. Spokes going to the same central hub. We're all perspectives of the same mind, our creator. And I tell people that and I remind people of that because that spark of light, that one photon of light from the great sun, is our soul. It's each and every person's soul. And as everyone that is versed in quantum physics will tell you, is that photons of light contain information. So that one little photon of light has the information of our soul, has the entire history of our soul right there. All of the knowledge. And that knowledge radiates through our fields, through our electromagnetic field, through our magnetic field. through our electrical field that our body produces. There's information in the pheromones, the chemicals that we release. There's information in the infrared signals that we radiate, the X-ray signals that we radiate. All of those things can be picked up. And it's because we're multidimensional beings. It's the reason why they have an MEG machine which measures brain activity by not even touching you. It's because there's a field of energy that is around your body, and that's what it's measuring, because that field has information in it. When people feel vibes, they're feeling the electromagnetic field and the information in it. It's how they can tell how somebody feels. That's how they can tell how a room feels when they walk in it. Like, oh, energy's off, right? Bad vibes. That's why you can feel them, because that field has information in it. We have to listen to the information that is being passed on to us from our higher self. It lets us know by the way our body feels. When something feels really good, when something makes you feel love, it makes you feel happy, you feel lighter. And that's why when you get a major stressful thing off your back, everybody says how much lighter they feel, that it's a weight off of their shoulders. And it's because that lower feeling is a very dense feeling. It's a heavy feeling. And once it goes away, appreciate it, brother. Once it goes away, you feel like you're floating. So if you pay attention to the way your body is feeling, you can have that same feeling over and over and over again. Because if you start to pay attention to the things that don't feel right, when you notice them and you change the thought pattern, or you change the behavior, or you change how the things that you're putting into your body, or the things that you're listening to, or the things that you're watching, or the people that you hang around, or the job that you do, the partner that you have, these things that all make you feel like shit, get them out of your life. That's what your higher self is telling you. That's not for you. That's not for the god or goddess that resides inside of you. Those things aren't good for you. Let them go. Let them go with love, though. Let them go, though, because you are doing what is best for you. You are doing what is loving to you. And that's what we should be doing. And that's what we should be teaching everybody that we come into contact with. We should be the example of what healing and happiness looks like. We have to do the work. We have to do the work. We have to pay attention to ourselves. We have to be mindful. We have to take time and sit in silence. We have to learn to connect again. And I know that it's hard for some people to take time for themselves, because they've been taught that that's selfish. But what happens when you don't take time for yourself? You burn out, and then the people that depend on you get left to fend for themselves. And then what is being selfish? Not doing the things that you know you need to do to be able to still take care of the people that depend on you. It's not selfish. Self-care is self-love, and self-love is the best love, because to love yourself is to love everyone else, because we are all connected. Fields of energy. Our energy is constantly flowing and mixing and connected to everything. And so as we do for ourselves, so do we do for all of creation. When we do for ourselves, when we take care of ourselves, we're taking care of this world. Every time we change a negative thought pattern, or a negative behavioral pattern, every time we change something for the better, we're changing the script of our life, changing the script of our story. And everybody that is in our story now has to change their script, because they can't approach you the same way. That's how we create change. It's a domino effect. I say I want to help change the world one person at a time. I understand that it's not one person at a time, because if I help one, I help everybody around them. If I help one, I help us all. If you help yourself, you help us all. And once you build yourself up, once you take care of yourself, once you get yourself healthy and happy, what you come to realize is you want other people to feel that way. You become very service oriented. You know, I plan on manifesting millions of dollars into our life just so I can pretty much give it away, because I have a lot of people that I know need a lot of help that just don't have resources. And so if I can get good at manifesting and I can manifest a lot of wealth, then I know how many things that I can do for the world. I know how many lives I can change, because I know it's just resources. And that's one of the things that is sad, but I know that's one of the things that's going to drop away. Eventually the resources will get to where they need to go, because life and nature and all of this, it's not about competition, guys. It's about cooperation. It's about working together as a collective for the collective. It's about being on the same page and moving forward together in a way that benefits us all. We haven't been doing that. But thanks to 2020 and 2021 and the darkness that ensued, and there was a lot of light that was brought to the surface. Because where there is darkness, there must be light. The darkness pushes us to light. The more darkness there is, even the dimmest lights can be seen, and that's why so many people woke up. A lot of darkness. They got forced to go inside, and they went inside, and they found that light. And then once that happened, they found their truth, and once they found their truth, they started speaking it, and then you started seeing the movement. You started seeing action, and that's beautiful. We had a new civil rights movement start. We had a new labor movement, a new women's rights movement. You know, we got changes going over in the Middle East. Like, yes, there's still things that definitely need work. There's still very low vibrational things that are going on. But if you pay attention to the beauty, if you pay attention to love, if that's your focus, then you raise the energy of everything around you. You raise the earth underneath you. You raise your family. You raise your community. That spreads. See, sickness and disease can spread. So can wellness and joy. I know that it can. I've seen it. I've seen it far too many times, in fact, to ever think that it's not possible. We just have to be willing to be the examples for everyone. We got to be willing to do the work on ourselves. I tell people, my life is my message. I got that from Gandhi. I really like it, because that's how I feel. My life is my message. The way that I live, the way that I treat others, the way that I know that I am loved, and the way that I love. I give that freely, and I show that willingly. I talk about the experiences that I've had that are positive and negative, the things that I've learned, the things that I've messed up on, you know. I don't know why people are so scared to talk about their faults. And then we wonder why people are scared to talk about their faults. Is because nobody's talking about them, so everybody feels alone. Just say what's going on in your life and be honest about it, man. You don't know what your message, your story, how uplifting that could be to somebody else. Just, like, damn, man, it ain't just me. Or people that have made it through stuff, man. Like, if you put that out there, that's medicine for people's souls, man. When you can tell people what you've been through, and that you can look at life and be happy and be joyful and still want other people to succeed, that's a beautiful thing. And that teaches people that it's okay to be that way. It's okay to heal and not hold on to things anymore. It's okay to let things go. And so that's what I do. I keep telling people, don't set limiting beliefs. I tell everyone what is true. Always. We are gods and goddesses. Anything that you believe that is less than that is a limiting belief. I believe 100% that we are unlimited beings. I know it to be true. I just haven't figured out how to use all of it. And it's okay, I will. But right now, the things that I do know, the things that I have learned, they are paying off in ways that are, I would say miracles, but I know they're not. Guys, we're gonna, like, my entire family is gonna be on, like, the Dr. Phil show. Surprise everybody. We're gonna be on TV. And it was because we wanted help. We wanted the best help possible. We put it out there. And we got it. 5 days later. We've manifested surgeries and bonuses and all kinds of things that people would say sound impossible, but they're not. And it's what happens when you do the work and you're in the line. And when you learn how to ask properly and then get out of the way of the blessings that are supposed to come in. We don't doubt that they're going to come. We don't question it. And we don't keep ourselves down on a vibrational level that is not in alignment with the things that we want. We're not going to ask for all kinds of great things and then be terrible people. We're not going to get it because we're not in alignment. And so we walk the walk. We practice what we preach, man. And because of that, we receive blessings, and I try to point out these blessings to people to let them know that it works, y'all. The process works, and I tell everybody, trust the process. I have found people that found the process, that found the formula to connect. And I try to tell people as often as I can, because I want everybody to feel the way that I feel. I want everybody to experience the things that my family gets to experience now. Because why not give people a chance to feel that? Why wouldn't you? Like if you have the knowledge, if you have the ability to change people's lives forever for the better, to change their entire lineage, because it's not just you. Every strand of DNA that you have has history of your lineage in it. You can heal yourself and heal your entire ancestry, man. That's what I'm working on. I'm trying to end generational curses. I have families of addicts and alcoholics, man, and it's like, yo, I quit drinking, I quit smoking. I stopped being so angry. Anger was a big thing in our family, man. I stopped being like that. It's a choice. My wife is as healthy as she's been in probably 20 years, and even more so when it comes to mental health. Because we've taken the time to really review ourselves and to be honest with ourselves and to hold each other accountable. I plan on being a life coach. I'm working on with people now. I'm going to show people how to change their lives because I've already done so. I know the process works because I've used the process on myself. I've used the process on my wife. The process is starting now more with my family. They just had to get their eyes open, They just got to get out their own way. And that's the thing. I tell people this. I tell people this all the time. Every cell in our body is designed to be healthy. Every single cell in our body is designed to be healthy and to function properly. We just get in the way. It takes more energy to feel badly than it does to feel good. There's a reason for that. We're not supposed to feel bad, y'all. That's why depression is so tiring. Because it takes more energy to feel low than it does to feel high. And I don't mean high as in a drug. I mean high as in vibrational. The way you buzz, man. You're a light. And I tell people we're lighthouses. And what do lighthouses do? They shine their light for everyone. They are a beacon. And that's what we all should do. We all should be lighthouses for everybody. We should be the light for everybody to see. Look, be the example. Be the example. And I know that can be hard to just because it's not what we're taught to do. It's it's not easy to not be reactive when that's all you've known your entire life. Not easy doesn't mean impossible though. I used to be extremely volatile. Not anymore because I'm not going to give anybody the privilege of pissing me off, man. Like, nah. You know how hard I've worked to get to my place of peace? You think I'm going to let you take me out of that? No. No, and that's the thing. Yo, man, once you found real peace, real serenity. When you found serenity, nah, man, you ain't giving that up. I've told people that there are ascended masters walking around right now. Regular people that are in this world but not of it. That everywhere they go, they have heaven on earth. That they experience love and they see beauty in everything. And they honor the sacred in all things. I'm one of those people now. And I've been avoiding saying that out loud. Because it doesn't sound very humble at all. But it's not about humility, it's about truth. I know where I am now. I know who I am now. And that is what I show. I allow spirit to do far more thinking than I allow my own mind to do. It's very quiet up here most of the time. And that silence allows me to hear the voices that are guiding us all. That unfortunately we have too much noise going on in our head to be able to hear it. That's why Solomon's temple was a temple of stone, which means it's natural. And that's how it was made in silence. And you know it was made in silence because they said Solomon's temple was built without the sounds of hammers or chisels being heard. That natural temple is the body, and that silence was meditation. You know, Jacob said, I've seen God face to face, and they call it place Peniel. Peniel. They told us, you know, Goliath was this giant ego of a thing, this beast. Had to defeat ego. So it got struck 5 times. Last one being directly in the center of the forehead, right? Right in the third eye. Those 5 senses, those 5 shots. When you detach from the 5 senses of the body, and you just use that inner vision, that's how you're able to connect. That's why meditation's so important. Moses saw 7 sisters. They talk about the 7 churches and the 7 seals in Revelations. Well, there's 7 chakras, guys. All right, little energy centers. Let you guys know that those seals had to be broken. Those seals had to be opened. You had to go to all of those churches. You had to visit each one of those sacred temples inside of you. Jacob's ladder was this spiraling staircase. Well, if you look at your spine, has a nice little swiggle, don't it? 33 vertebrae. Jesus died at 33. 33rd degree Masons. 33 is an important number, guys. We talk about the land of milk and honey. Well, DMT is produced in the pineal gland, and serotonin is also, and as well as the pituitary gland. And serotonin is a milky substance, and DMT is an amber-colored substance. Milk and honey. The land of milk and honey is the thalamus, which is Greek for the inner chamber. And the thalamus contains the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. So the thalamus is the land of milk and honey. Yeah, I've done a lot of research. I realized that they were talking about brainwaves in the Bible, but they did it encoded. See, we have beta, alpha, theta, delta, and gamma now because of science, and we can measure that in brainwaves with EEGs. But then they had a different system that they only used their bodies to really figure it out, but the way that they did was by the elements, and what you would hear is earth, water, air, fire, and spirit. See, that's why foot washing was such an important thing. It's because your feet, the lowest part of your body, touches the earth, the lowest consciousness. And so what they would do is they would take the next level of consciousness, which was water, and they would wash their feet. Because it would take them from beta brainwaves to alpha brainwaves. This is where you can write in a little programmer's chair there. John the Baptist told people that he would baptize them in water, but the person that would come after him, he was not fit to even wash his sandals. He said that person would baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. Fire represented delta brainwaves. Holy Spirit is gamma. That is when people have their transcendental moments. They talk about water when Jacob crossed the Jabbok. Jabbok is Hebrew for to go within. And when he crossed the Jabbok was a river in the story. He left his wife, he left his children, he left all of his material possessions. He had to go within. And he had to leave all of his worldly possessions and his carnal desires and things behind. And he had to go from the earthly consciousness, and he had to cross into water. He had to cross into the higher state, into the alpha state. And once he crossed, he encountered an angel. Because as you move up, you have to remember that if you love yourself, well, so too do the angels. And you don't want to keep putting yourself in bad situations. Well, they don't want to keep putting themselves in bad situations either. That's why they don't keep coming down here all the time. Because it's painful to be down here. It sucks. It's so dense, and there's so much that goes on. They love themselves too much for that. But they tell you, if you come up to us, if you meet us, we'll meet you. And that's what meditation is for. Is so that you can go up those scales of brainwaves. So you can go from earth to water to air to fire. Jesus told you, I'll meet you in the air and I'll baptize you with fire and the Holy Spirit. Hey, he's telling you that if you raise up to theta, which is where air is, if you raise up to theta, I will bring you up to delta and then into gamma. And you will be baptized by fire and the Holy Spirit, and you will have a new life. And that's where those healings came from. And he would tell people all the time, tell no one about this healing. Because he knew that it was based on belief. And if he went to people and told them that I got healed by this person, they would tell them, no, you didn't. And they would convince them. They would convince them that the healing did not really happen. And it's belief. And because of that belief, it would get changed and the healing would go away. So he told them, tell no one. Dr. Bruce Lipton has a book called The Biology of Belief, and it talks about epigenetics and how thoughts and everything trigger your genes to express certain ways. They just turn on and off. Higher thoughts have better genes being produced. It's not hereditary. It's not. And that's been a fact since 1967, in fact. Epigenetics is a thing. And what I found because of that is 98% of all diseases are environmental. They're your thoughts, your emotions, what you put into your body and what you expose yourself to. There's not many that people are actually born with. Tay-Sachs, type 1 diabetes, sickle cell anemia, Down syndrome, things like that. Yeah. But everything else is on us, guys. And that's empowering because when you know it's on you, you know you can change it. You know you have control over your whole genetic identity. My wife doesn't have any of the issues that she used to have, guys. Like, she was on 6 meds, she's on 0. Because the work, it pays off. The process works. And if you guys want help changing your life, man, you should hit me up. I'd be honored to help you. It's what I was put on this earth to do. To raise myself and this world and the people in it. By giving them the truth of who and what we are. And what we are capable of. I love you all, and you are always loved.